beautiful Scorpio. Thank you very much for joining me. Polina here, chatting to you leisurely in my little Garden of Eden here. Anyway, 2022 has to be a real year. Okay, so people are not worthy. Maybe some people are not promising you things that they've done before. Maybe some things are just like turning off, or they're a turn off for you, or they're just like, oh, can we like not speak about that? That was really weird. I was so invested in this person, and then now what am I gonna do? Like there's quite a lot of us with Scorpio energy that are just like, oh wow, that was weird and boring and unenlightening, especially if you spent a lot of time somewhere that you didn't want to live or work. Like, oh my gosh, I was sitting there in my parents' basement for like 5 years, or like, oh my gosh, I was sitting there at this computer for like 7 years, or like, whoa, I was like going up with this girl that I didn't even know what the hell was going on, or like, wow, I had nothing, oh my goodness gracious me, I was just like this. Maybe you were like a social reject, or like, I don't know, you can call yourself names if you want, if you like, but because of the times, you can do better. So like now, instead of that girl, there is this girl. Instead of the parents' basement, there is a nice house. Instead of making money online, you can do things hands-on. You can just be yourself. So this is the world that we are looking at. We can do better. Yeah, you can do better. You could have probably done better for years, but the thing is you didn't like yourself back then. So this is why calling yourself names is not so good. You know, it's not worth your while. So like the thing that I'm feeling about this is that not many people really want to get to know you until you see it and you got it. Like the big smile, that cheesy wisdom, you know, the funny words, you know, you got like your little kind of hand, you know, in the air, and it's like walking like, move over world, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly who I am now, and I know exactly what I want to do. So this is where Scorpio gets hurt, but because of how we are placed in the sky, nothing that bad could probably happen for quite a long time. The South Node really heals you in your sign, and there are going to be a lot of ways in which you don't even notice what is going on, and it's just going to all kind of sort of work out, even if you did something wrong before. So sometimes like in the past life, or like, wow, you know, once you have really disappointed your mother, or like you've done something really bad and it comes back to you, but some of the time it is kind of like under anesthetic. It's like you don't even know what is going on. It just gets pulled out from your reality. So this is one of the happiest time for someone like me with so much Scorpio in my chart. It just gets alleviated. So the thing is, you might have confidence and you might have like built yourself up, or you might be like growing wings. You like get really soulful and you're like singing songs and you're like, wow, you guys, you know, like I got this, I know what like Archangel Michael wanted me to do this whole time. Wow, I totally got this, like I'm at peace, like peace sign, you know, and that's really fabulous. But there are parts of you that don't even really understand what is going on under the surface of this whole entire reality. But nothing is that bad. Something else, somebody else slips by, slinks through and helps you out, and you don't even remember what happened. So for example, if this has ever happened to you, I have my South Node in Scorpio as well in my chart. So you don't even know what happens. Like people help you out. You didn't even realize that was the way. You could wake up in the hospital and not even remember anything. Like, whoa, what's up? What happened to me? So like this is the thing, somebody or some force of nature, somebody, something helps you without you even dreaming it would have ever done that. So this is the thing, is to have your eyes closed. So the way that I'm seeing us now, like Scorpios, we're like walking a tightrope, and we've got like an umbrella in one hand, I don't know, and a ball in another. You know, like whatever, like ha ha ha, you know, I got my blindfold on, this is so funny. Like I can just walk through life like this, like I could just trust it, I think. Yeah, that's right, the universe has my back, right? So the thing is like, you probably don't even know what you're in for. So this is where you don't even know, and you probably might never really find out. So that's the thing. So for example, your partner could be a convicted murderer. You know, just example. Maybe your best friend has a lot of money they're not telling you about. Maybe there is like a lot of really sick stuff happening underneath the surface. Maybe you are just about to be like pushed into a certain direction. Maybe something or somebody doesn't even want you somewhere. Maybe there is a very, very weird thing in your water. Maybe there are weird things in your ears. Maybe you're hearing noises. Maybe you're feeling kind of like, oh, I don't know what's sleeping. Like maybe there are some things that are happening in your life that are really, really, really not easy to understand at all, like for anybody ever. There could be hidden agendas. There could be a hidden opportunity as well, and there are likely chances of things just cracking under the surface, and then something comes out. Volcanoes this year, very likely. So this is when you didn't really think it would happen, but like, wow, like it's very, 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 very crazy stuff that can happen. It's like, say, you're out of your home and it catches on fire, you did not know. Because you were screaming in your house like a month ago, So it's kind of like karma. Or for example, you didn't even know it, but like your best friend took your credit card and just went shopping with it, but you had somebody else help you or save you, or maybe your parent gave you some money afterwards. So it's kind of like, whoa, it's kind of easy to live through. It's like, well, I wasn't in the fire myself. Well, I had somebody back me up. Somehow life caught me in a way. But wow, I had no idea. So like this is where you have to be very, 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 very kind. You got to make sure that you are not in any kind of cahoots with any weird person, people, memories, things. You don't take drugs. You don't look at TV too much. No TV, no drugs, no crazy stuff. Because this is where karma is kind of thin or thinning. Some weird stuff can happen. It's like I woke up in hospital one day. I don't even remember how I got there. So there is a very, very, very thin layer between the worlds. And also it might mean that you are not fully who you are, or there is some kind of like a crush of your spirit and a bigger thing coming out of you. So also all that independence and lack of empathy in some Scorpios now can actually be a sign of possession or being possessed. So it's like, I know who I am, don't tell me what to do. All of this stuff could actually be part of a parental karma. Maybe somebody in your family didn't actually go. Maybe they have been living through your body. So this is kind of like ancestral, kind of like voodoo stuff. There could be also other people that know about you growing through a certain phase or doing certain things and not telling anybody. And then once they are ready, they'll say, haha, that guy there, he was in prison, haha. Or like that girl there, she used to work as a prostitute. Or like this person cheated. Or like, I know you. So there is a lot of stuff with reputation for anybody with Scorpio energy. Photos of you naked should never be shared. No, don't share nothing. Not even with a friend. Photos of you doing stuff, even if you were very young, you look like that now. Very scary, like scary stuff, like spray painting a wall, I don't know, like stealing from a shop. Any kind of video or photo evidence could be right around the corner. It's like anything goes. Like that person just wants to speak out against you. That person wants to take you to court. This person is speaking rubbish about you. This person wants to take aggressive care with you, and once you know who that is or where it's coming from, it will close. So like for example, once you understand that photo is still floating around because somebody really didn't love me, and I had an experience that was videotaped with this person or that was photographed. They did not love me, so that part of you. So it's like I did something simple for me at the time that is now hard to face. I wasn't loving. They didn't love me. Love wasn't there, and suddenly it just leaves. It's like when something happens, this is important, don't go into like that phase of Scorpio. It's like, oh, you want to get at me? Well, I'm gonna get you back. Well, I've got some black magic, or I got some brothers, or like, wow, well, I've got something to give you. So like once you are in that place where you don't even know what is going on, it gets blurry, it gets dark, it gets weird, don't be happy to just do it. I would not be anywhere near that part of the world or this part of people. I'd be very, 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 very maybe sad to learn something happened like that, but don't take your claws out at that point. You need them for other things. Don't fight somebody who likes to pick a fight, especially at a person who's in a weak place. Don't make face. If something karmic happens this year, especially with people reputation, don't fight. Just know where that karma is coming from. Maybe there was a lack of love. Maybe there was a lack of wisdom. Maybe you did something as a child that you shouldn't have done. Maybe you don't even know about it. You don't even know that you've done something and it's on video. So there is a need for a lot of us people, especially with any kind of expertise or experience, anything that has happened in our lives that was dark or that was unworthy or something like that, we have to somehow cover our tracks. Okay, so for example, there is a person with that video looking at you, rushing around. You just got to cover, okay? They want to put something online about you. Just don't participate with these people that are arguing about it. Like, if anything comes out, if anybody wants you gone, if anything gets really aggressive, there are sometimes unconscious karmic reasons why that is happening now. And there are also quite often people that don't want you there because they want the place for themselves, and this is the hardest thing to see, okay, for us Scorpios. Like, for example, somebody wants you to be gone from your job because they want your position, they want that paycheck, and they're just looking at you like, yeah, I do, Or like somebody wants you out of a certain person's life because they want to be friends with that person. They want to benefit from that which you have got. That's the hardest thing. So if you are living on the soil that you yourself have prepared for yourself, and something else or somebody else goes, no, this is mine. Why are you here? There is an important part of you that might need to kick in and fight. Only if you know that someone is taking something that is rightfully yours. For example, somebody wants to take your money, or somebody wants to take your car, somebody wants to take, but if you are in a fight with somebody with like photo video evidence, or they're like trying to do something against your reputation, try to make tracks. So this is not about just throwing your fangs around or your claws around or trying to be mean or trying to be strong. It's not just that. It's like when it happens, you'll know if you are a Scorpio with a lot of karma and dreams that were mad or frightening before, if you have a lot of crazy desperate behavior in your workbook of life, there is need to really soften that. So if you are now looking at me like, okay, Polina, how am I going to, how am I going to change my life here? How am I going to change? If you are already in the face of danger, or if you had some weird things happen, I have had only just a little bit of that happen recently. For example, if you are now realizing some people are getting stabby with you, some information is flying around, or some people are getting super, super hot and heavy about something that you've done, somebody wants to cause you harm, if you have anything like that happening, try to dislodge the organism or the mechanism that is causing that, okay? So there is a reason why there is an aggressor. There's an aggression in the air, in the world. Try to dislodge who it was that you hurt first. Maybe you were part of a certain community, or you were a certain person that was just laughing at the world, or was really mean or rude to somebody. Maybe it was you that was rude. Maybe you started this ages ago. Maybe you were really unkind or unhealing or unsafe, or you had that kind of tribe help you, and now it is angry at you. So there is like a weird way that culture works, or like past life efforts, this life's efforts work. And then you have to also understand if you are in some kind of a codependence with that person, or they can take something from you that you are codependent on. And you've got to be very, very here and now, and also understand there is nothing that happens for no reason. Even if that random person got really psycho with you on the side of the road, there is something in there. There is something else going on, and you have to solve the puzzle. You got to solve the puzzle, and it's important that you don't just walk out there and tell people to get out. It's important that you wait and understand what the puzzle has become. So that's something that's happening in my world, in my life, on many levels at the moment. And the best way that I would say you can do this, actually, and the best way that you can help yourself is reveal to yourself what you don't want to feel and what you don't like, and then understand how your actions or words or karmas in the previous experiences have made that possible, or abandoned you, or helped you manifest bad things. Why did mad stuff happen to me? Why did bad things happen? What was it inside me that was still available for this to happen? Why did I manifest that? So this is something that sometimes Scorpio will have to do, and not lash out. But the one thing that we really need to understand is also aggression doesn't come for no reason. Aggression is a lost part, lost soul, or like a lost aspect of ourselves that doesn't know how to do it in a different way. Aggression is a desperate energy. And if we have a lot of it in ourselves or another person, we've got to be very, very kind and careful as to how this sits with everybody in the group, in the situation, for whatever reason you're in it, and help yourself to greater lengths, greater kindness, greater opportunities through just neutralizing so much of that and helping yourself just see through things kindly and clearly. You don't have to yell, and you also shouldn't. Okay, so if you don't want to do this, I understand, but I'll tell you this. If you have a lot of pitta, a lot of fire, or even a lot of kapha, depends on you. Okay, if you have a lot of stuff in your gut, if you have a lot of unfinished business in your body, you might not have it in you to wait it out and to peacefully conclude. You might not have the wisdom to. And what I mean by wisdom is the self-certainty that usually comes from having a healthy gut and a healthy body. And what that means is a lot of that volcanism and fire that we're experiencing in our modern society is just basically gas, okay? And what we have to understand also, what we have to do and prepare ourselves for is a nice system cleanse. The system is going through a cleansing process, as does humanity now also feel like it would. So we have a lot of care, maybe that we have not given ourselves before. So understand, okay, South Node in your sign, you don't need to do all that much to impress anybody else anymore. Either it's already done, you've impressed everybody, you already got the job, you already got the power, you already got whatever, or you just don't have it because you don't need it. It's okay. What you got is okay. If you don't have it, no problem. The main thing is not to feel afraid anymore and to be okay and empowered as a person. And that's very hard if you've got stuff in your gut. So why I'm telling you this also is because I know you probably don't want this. Most people don't like this stuff. Is because a lot of the inner stuff is outer stuff, and outer stuff is inner stuff. So you sometimes can't control like a traffic person, giving you a fine. You can't control your ex, smashing your car, or you can't control a big debt. But what you can do is you can alkalize and control, for example, the type of food that you choose to eat, or the type of media that you choose to ingest. So here, alkaline is best. Okay, very heavy on the meat, sometimes people, and it shows, when we have a lot of meat in our diet, okay, it naturally raises a certain type of aggression, okay. It naturally makes a completely different pact with your world, because you're kind of like a carnivore, like an omnivore. If you don't have anything good to say about that, it's okay. I don't expect you to, but so if you are eating meat a lot and you are telling yourself, I'm love and light and I'm the most enlightened person, the minute somebody turns on you, or the minute something weird happens, guess what happens? The fighter comes out, because if you're eating meat, your body will prepare you to hunt. Okay, so even if you don't kill that chicken yourself, you're a hunter. Okay, so if you are hunting and you know it, you've got to be very, 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 very level, very thoughtful. And I do understand it's alright. Some cultures do only really eat meat. I got this. Okay, so like when you got this for thousands of years, it's really hard to change your system. So like sometimes what you have to do is also alkalize, even if you're eating a lot of bacon. Even if you are drinking beer, you gotta alkalize your body. You gotta alkalize it. And like what I do in the mornings is a little bit of soda, baking soda in my little cup of water. Sometimes it's something like this, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you gotta just basically do the fruit and veg for a while. You just gotta like not eat, or just like sleep a little longer, let your body digest. It depends on the person. You've gotta like lower that stamina sometimes, especially if you don't know what you're saying, what you're doing. If you have an automatic, okay, South Node in your sign, automatic anger or aggression, if you have an obvious way you don't want to do things and you hate this or have to have that, any kind of thing that you're doing automatically, especially if you're speaking to people that are not going to like take it a very good way, it's very important to narrow down your intake of calories. Calories make people aggressive because on some level it's too much energy, and on some level for most people it creates inflammation in the body because we can't process most of what we eat today or for the last 200 or 300 years. So that's the thing, is we have to be very, very careful now, very clear. And also not all the diets are made alike, you know, like, and different herbs, different plants helped different people around the world alkalize their bodies, even if they did eat bread. But you know, these days it's just soup, it's just kasha, what we eat. So that's the thing, also what we ingest on the radio and TV, whatever. And we have to be very, very polite and at peace with that as well. So we can't just be like flaming on about this or that, and we can't be like too heavy on ourselves or our health, but we've got to basically understand South Node is some place you don't need to be anymore, and also a place that you don't want to be, but you've got to be. But also, in a way, by October 2022, you are meant to be here. This is where you belong, if you have a belonging. Okay, so this is a little bit difficult for me right now to talk about, but okay. Okay, in the end of this year, there's going to be a definite culture or place or practice you should probably have either transcended by now or just learned to belong in. If you have a backwards plan, for example, going back home, seeing your mom, okay, don't have to be there all your life, but understand why you haven't yet metabolized it. If you don't want to be somewhere and you have to be, that's really hard for us, okay? Like being in a hospital, okay? Being in a home that you don't like, being with somebody you don't trust. If you don't like it, you can change. But here's the thing, there is a relevance in any type of place where you've been put exactly, you know, like as you have been. And there should be a nice, normal, neutral resolution. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to be there, the South Node will get you out of there. It's just important to understand how. And any kind of dead end situations, any weird things, any other aggression, any kind of weird caught up behavior, any sadness, any bad futures, all of it is kind of part of the changing world. And the thought of you not wanting to be there is true and it's right, but it's important to also understand that another force made you repeat that pattern, or somebody in your family or something in your life wanted you to. And that's where you have to do some real big work. And if you don't like it, I understand. There's no other way. Karma, okay, or your previous designs are here. On the lighter hand, okay, by October's end, November, December, you will probably have an answer to all of it. So a lot of it actually has a little key or a little bit of a warmer or a cooler temperature, depending on what is the best for you, to help you loosen and walk free. It does not have to be hard. It does not have to be unhealthy. It should never have been a fight, and it must never repeat again. So quite a lot of this karmic stuff you might just have to revisit, to forgive and forget, and absolutely decide not to participate in ever in your lifetime or in your children's lifetime, and therefore, you know, their children and their children. So So there's not really that much you can do if you have been reverted back to a certain space of having something or somebody unkind in your life, or having a sad or repeating or depressing space or crisis. If you don't want to do the work, that's going to be harder than if you did. Okay. And then what else? Also, the brighter or the most hysterical and happy side of South Node is that yes, history repeats. Yes, you can have that person back in your life. Yes, you can have that repetitive energy come back, but it also doesn't really need to be so. There are just some people that really love reliving the stuff, you know, and like we're kind of like, you know, in the Western culture, and it's very nostalgic sometimes, and it likes to weave a fantasy from something that's already said and done. But like, okay, if you want to repeat, you can repeat. That's the thing. So that's pretty much all. Thank you very much, Scorpio, for joining me a little bit more about stuff about you. Is in my book. So 2022 Year of the Water Tiger is happening now. It is a book that I've written. The digital copy is in color and has all my illustrations, and so does the black and white copy, but it is a black and white copy. So the black and white copy is a physical copy that you could buy online as well. It's your choice whether you have a physical book or if you get one online. I would not really think that the physical book is that important because it's cutting down a tree, you know what I mean. So if you really want to improve your life and get to know yourself and you know what's happening with all of us during this year, check out the digital copy of this particular channeled situation. And yes, all the stuff is about me in the caption section below. You can visit my site, or you can have a look at my Patreon or get a reading. Thank you. Bye.